Welcome to WorkSpan TV. I'm Ryan Johnson from World at Work. I'm joined in the studio today with Professor Dow Scott. He's also a consultant and he's a longtime World at Work contributor. A lot of research in the last 10 years with you, Dow. And we're here today to talk about some research that you and I conducted along with the Hay Group, and it's on retention of key talent. It's about to be published by World at Work. First of all, I want to say welcome to you. It's a long time overdue to have you here, but talk about the study. Why did we do this study at this point about research, about retention?
We have to start thinking about and developing the research almost a year in advance. But last year, when we started thinking about this research, we were talking to compensation people, to HR people, to senior executives, and we asked them, what was the thing that kept them awake at night? And their major concern was their talent and whether they might lose their talent as the economy improved. And that was the thing that kept reoccurring and people kept talking about. And so we chose that as the topic. And it was, I think it was dead on this year. This is the topic that people really are talking about. We are seeing scarcity. In fact, in the research itself, we asked the respondents, what kinds of issues they were having with retention. And virtually all of them said it was costly. Virtually all of them said that it was becoming more challenging. Virtually everybody said that they had already, had scarcity occur. What our research is showing is that this is not just an issue for today, tomorrow, next year, but it looks like from the kinds of demographics and the economic situation that we're going to have issues of securing and keeping high talent probably well into the next decade. A couple contributories to that. One is that we have a generation that's following the baby boomer that is 25% smaller than the baby boomers who are leaving the workplace. We used to be able to get good talent from other countries when we had a scarcity. Well, they're keeping their talent now. They have jobs there. They have educational systems there. It's harder for us to get those folks. Jobs are becoming more complex. And since the jobs are more complex, it demands more from the people that are there. So there's all kinds of forces that looks like this whole notion of scarcity, trying to hold people into jobs is really changing, and it's going to be a change that's going to create a new normal.
I wonder, Dow, if you could just elaborate a little bit more on this, because we're at a point in mid-2012 where unemployment is still at like 8%. And when we were contemplating this research, I remember there was some conversation about, well, maybe in this environment, people are just happy to have a job. But tell me about the scarcity.
When you talk about high unemployment, you have to really ask the question, who is unemployed? And when you look at just even college graduates, their unemployment rate has never gotten beyond 5%. Now, many of them may be underemployed, but they are employed. And when you talk about engineers, when you talk about IT people, you're talking probably about a 3% unemployment rate. And again, that group is even going to dry up further as the economy expands. And this is a particularly serious problem for organizations that come out of a recession slower than other organizations. These are the people that are really worried because they don't have the economics to go out and hire people as the economy improves. They have to wait until their cash flow can support it, while other firms can sort of come back and cherry pick on them and pick up some of their high talent people.
So what did the research tell us about why people quit?
Well, there's a variety of reasons. We asked a whole long list of possibilities of why people might leave, and even provided some open-ended questions. And remember now, our study was focused on key talent, high talent people. When we looked at it, virtually all of those reasons had to do with money. And one of the big reasons, and the number one reason, was to make more money elsewhere. High talent people are very economically driven. Two or three of the other reasons revolved around economics, opportunity for promotion.
So what should employers do given this information and given the current environment? Is there a couple things that employers should be thinking about?
Well, we asked that question too. That was some of the questions that we asked. We asked them what were they doing and what was most effective. Well, a couple of the most effective, the most effective one was identify your high talent. Who is high talent? Many organizations sort of have a vague notion of it, but are they high potential people? Potential for what is a question you should be asking. Are they in critical jobs? Is that what makes them key employees? Is it performance, or is it some combination of those factors? But you not only have to figure out what those factors are, you have to figure out who those people are and make sure that you're directing resources and attention to those specific people, or you're not going to hold those people. One of the other strategies that they use, and they consider it quite effective, is simply pay them more. Pay them above the market. And they say that that in fact works.
Dow, what are some of the best practices in terms of retaining people?
Well, I think one of the best practices is the way we structure and the way we think about the human resources function. The human resources function is often thought of in terms of areas of specialization and training and expertise, or, the other word is silos. And what we have is a situation where we have compensation, benefits, all in one area. We've got human resource development and training in another area. We've got selection, staffing, placement of people in another area. When you think about retention of high talent, you really need to coordinate and integrate those three areas to have an effective strategy. What I suggest is this is a perfect opportunity to matrix our organizations of human resources, where we basically create a team that focuses on, key talent. I mean, key talent makes a tremendous contribution to the organization. They're the ones that become our leaders. They're the ones that, really drive, the performance of the organization. They set the high end. So if we're going to give that group attention, we really need an integrated focus. This gives us a way that I think we can deliver, that human resources package and have the best impact by putting these teams together, by virtually keeping a permanent, cross-functional team focused on that particular issue.
I want to say thank you to Professor Dow Scott of Loyola University Chicago, who's also a consultant, longtime World at Work contributor, and we've been talking about research recently completed by World at Work, the Hay Group, and Professor Dow Scott, called Rewarding and Retaining Key Talent. For WorkSpan TV and World at Work, I'm Ryan Johnson.